The work papers, as mentioned, similar to an audit, tax preparers got some work papers. Now, these work papers are going to be crucial documents that accountants or their firms create during the course of their work for clients. These work papers contain sensitive and confidential information. Right? If anyone asks you what you do, if you are an accountant, I do spreadsheets. That's what I tell everyone, right? And serve the basis for accountants' conclusions and opinions. As such, they belong to the accountant or the accounting firm, not the client. The items prepared or given to you by the client, such as their bank statements, everything like that, that belongs to the client. Work papers belongs to the accounting firm or the accountant, and the end product, the tax return, that belongs to the client. However, there are certain circumstances where accountants may be required or permitted to share these work papers with others. We've got some exceptions that include in response to a subpoena relevant to a court case. Yeah, if you get subpoenaed, if the IRS says you have to share it, then you have to. If they're relevant to any legal proceedings or a subpoena is issued, the accountant must comply and produce the work papers as requested. What about to a prospective purchaser of the CPA's practice? If you want to sell your accounting firm, well, the CPA may allow a potential buyer of their practice to review the work papers, provided that the prospective buyer does not disclose the confidential information. An important point to note is that a lot of client information is on these work papers. So it's not just that it's your information on there, it's your proprietary information as a work paper. It's also that a lot of confidential client information is likely stored on those work papers. However, the work papers cannot be handed over to the purchaser without the client's permission. They can look at them, they can review them, but they can't be handed over. To a state CPA society, voluntarily quality control review panel when requested. So this is a state CPA society. So the New York State Society of CPAs comes in, says, we want to review some of your work papers, make sure you're doing a good job. Work papers may be shown to a review panel as part of the quality control process to ensure that the accounting firm is adhering to professional standards. Makes sense? Next, in defense of a lawsuit brought by a client, well, if the client ends up suing you, you can use the work papers to defend yourself and probably show that you did do due diligence and you made all these notes. Look at you. Good for you. To be used in defense of an official investigation by the AICPA or state trial board. Now, in the case of an investigation by professional organizations or regulatory authorities, the work papers may be presented as evidence to defend the accountant's work. So you're seeing a trend here. Generally, if it's going to help defend you in a lawsuit, yeah, you can use it. But again, the whole point is that there's confidential client information on these work papers. Lastly, when GAAP requires disclosure of such information in the financial statements. Now, in some cases, GAAP may require disclosure of certain information from the work papers in the financial statements, and in that case, that's okay. I'd say generally, like, they go from relevant to less relevant as this goes along. So things you might be asked most about are number 1, least about number 6. Now, it's important to note that while these exceptions do exist, the primary responsibility of the accountant is to maintain the confidentiality of client information. Sharing work papers should only occur when absolutely necessary and in accordance with relevant professional standards and legal requirements. Let's see an example here, another great one. Turner CPA has audited Baxter Corp's financial statements for several years. Now, you remember, the work papers, this applies to whether it's audits or tax preparer. Just a reminder, prior to the current year's engagement, a disagreement occurred leading to Baxter switching accounting firms. Baxter has requested that Turner provide them with Turner's working papers so they can show them to potential auditors to help prepare bids for Baxter's audit engagement. Turner refused, and Baxter initiated legal action. Under the ethical standards of the profession, will Turner succeed in refusing to hand over the working papers? And simply put, yes, Turner is going to succeed here because Turner owns the working papers. This situation is not grounds for having to turn over those work papers. Working papers belong to the accountant who prepares them, not the client. Therefore, as the owner of the working papers, Turner is not obligated to disclose them to the client. Again, read through these other ones. Make sure you're familiar with these other ones. The best way to learn, also, reading through incorrect explanations. As you go through, you do our multiple choice questions here. Read the explanations as to why the other answers are incorrect. That's going to be absolutely essential. Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of cpa.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started. So why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.